Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old matriarch of a prominent Tucson family, vanished suddenly from her home, sparking nationwide concern. On the surface, she was the devoted mother and grandmother everyone admired. But over days of investigation, whispers and old records revealed a life far more complex than anyone imagined. For more than 30 years, Nancy had led a double life so seamless that even her children, including her famous daughter Savannah, remained unaware. The shocking revelation began with a mysterious package that arrived days after her disappearance, opening a window into secrets long concealed. The matriarch of Tucson. After the sudden death of her husband Charles in 1989, Nancy found herself a widow at 47 with 3 children to raise. Her home in Tucson's Catalina foothills became a haven of stability amid the desert's harsh beauty. Part-time bookkeeping and volunteer work at her church filled her days. Alongside nurturing her kids, friends remember her as quietly resilient, the glue holding her family together. Savannah often credited her mother's fortitude for her own success. Nancy faced life's challenges head-on, balancing grief and responsibility with grace. She never revealed the inner conflicts that would later redefine her story. The first clue, a mysterious package. The first sign of Nancy's hidden life came with an unmarked envelope delivered to Savannah's New York home on February 6, 2026, 5 days after her mother vanished. Inside was a faded photograph of Nancy in her youth, arm in arm with a man unfamiliar to her family, outside a cafe in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Written on the back was a cryptic message. She deserved more than secrets. Ask about Elena. Savannah showed the photo to her siblings via a frantic video call. Questions swirled. Who was this man? Who was Elena? The image, dated 1992, became the first tangible clue to a life Nancy had hidden from her family. A chance encounter in Santa Fe. Nancy's secret life began in 1991 during a rare solo trip to Santa Fe for a church retreat. Still grieving Charles's death, she met Victor Ramirez, a 45-year-old artist and gallery owner from Mexico City. Victor had fled political unrest and established a gallery showcasing local talent. They bonded over shared loss. Victor had lost his wife years earlier. Their friendship blossomed into a clandestine romance. Nancy returned to Tucson transformed but concealed her new life. Weekend trips to Santa Fe became her escape, ostensibly for church retreats or visiting old friends. Over time, a hidden world emerged where Nancy could explore freedom and passion absent from her Tucson routine. The birth of Elena. To maintain her secret, Nancy adopted the alias Elena, a name inspired by a Mexican novel she and Victor adored. Under this identity, she helped run Victor's gallery, curated shows, and even created her own paintings. While Tucson Nancy baked for grandchildren and attended church events, Elena thrived in a community of artists and thinkers. Letters exchanged between the two lovers remained hidden in a locked box under Nancy's bed. Through Elena, Nancy explored sides of herself suppressed by decades of duty, flirtation, laughter, creativity, and freedom. This duality became both a source of joy and a weighty secret, one she feared revealing to her children. Financial footprints of a double life. By the mid-1990s, Nancy had opened a bank account under Elena Ramirez, funneling small amounts from her bookkeeping earnings to support Victor's gallery. This discreet financial involvement allowed her to maintain a stake in her alternate life. While her children's lives progressed, Savannah beginning her journalism career, Annie and Cam pursuing their own paths, Nancy continued her clandestine travels. Handwritten letters chronicled these years, detailing the exhilaration of art exhibitions, intellectual debates, and weekend escapes. Despite the thrill, guilt often intruded, and Nancy rationalized secrecy as a protective measure for her family. She could not fully abandon Tucson, but Elena became her necessary refuge, balancing two worlds. Over the next decade, Nancy skillfully balanced Tucson and Santa Fe. Tucson Nancy provided stability, faith, and guidance, maintaining the image of the perfect widow. Santa Fe Elena, meanwhile, engaged fully with Victor's gallery and the local creative scene. She danced at fiestas, debated philosophy, and painted vivid desert landscapes. Locals knew Elena as charming, witty, and mysterious, never suspecting her connection to a high-profile family. Over time, this dual life became increasingly complex, with Nancy spending longer stretches in Santa Fe as her children grew more independent. The careful compartmentalization allowed her to maintain both identities without raising suspicion. Cracks in the facade. The strain of secrecy became evident over the years. In the 2000s, Victor noted Nancy's growing anxiety and shorter visits. Pandemic lockdowns trapped her in Tucson, and she confided to Victor via encrypted messages about feeling split between lives. Post-pandemic, her Santa Fe trips resumed, but she appeared increasingly distracted. The FBI later learned that Nancy's fears of being watched may have been valid. Financial anomalies, including a $5,000 wire to an unknown account in Mexico in December 2025, raised suspicions of blackmail. Someone may have discovered her secret, possibly a rival or neighbor, threatening the carefully curated balance of her dual life. Victor's perspective. Victor's statements to investigators provided critical insight. He described decades of love letters hidden behind his gallery paintings, reflecting the depth of their connection. Victor insisted he never pressured Nancy to reveal her secret to her children. Their bond was a private rebellion against the isolation of widowhood and the constraints of duty. He observed the toll secrecy took on Nancy, health anxieties, guilt, and fear, but also acknowledged that Elena's life gave her vitality. The letters chronicled shared joys and struggles, highlighting a life Nancy never could claim publicly, but which shaped her in profound ways. Family reactions. When the FBI shared Victor's account with the Guthrie family, shock and grief were immediate. Savannah struggled to reconcile the steadfast mother she knew with the vibrant, adventurous Elena. Annie and Cam were equally stunned, confronting decades of hidden retreats, letters, and creative pursuits. Emotions ran high, a mix of betrayal, admiration, and sorrow. Savannah later explained to friends that her mother's secrecy was both protective and reflective of her perfectionism. The revelation recontextualized her own strength, revealing that part of her composure and determination may have been inherited from a mother who managed to live fully despite immense constraints. Public reaction news of Nancy's secret life spread quickly. Fans and followers were captivated, speculating on romantic entanglements, blackmail, and hidden motives behind her disappearance. Victor's gallery became a pilgrimage site, with locals recalling Elena's kindness and generosity. Amid media scrutiny, Victor closed the gallery temporarily, emphasizing Nancy's need for peace. The public fascination underscored the tension between Nancy's private passions and her public image, highlighting the universal intrigue of hidden lives behind familiar faces. Yet for the family, the revelations were deeply personal, reframing decades of relationships and memories. The investigation intensifies law enforcement focused on financial irregularities, the mysterious Mexico wire, and eyewitness accounts near Nancy's Tucson home. Agents canvassed both Santa Fe and Tucson, tracing contacts and reviewing surveillance footage. The vanishing appeared increasingly personal. No signs of theft suggested the motive was tied to her hidden life. Investigators considered blackmail, rivalries, or individuals seeking to expose her secret. Every letter, photograph, and diary entry became evidence in a complex puzzle, revealing the risks Nancy took to maintain her dual existence. The investigation now revolved around untangling 3 decades of secrecy to locate her safely. Conclusion: the cost of freedom. Nancy Guthrie's story reveals the delicate balance between duty, identity, and personal freedom. Tucson Nancy exemplified resilience and devotion, while Santa Fe Elena embraced creativity, passion, and unjudged self-expression. Her dual life spanned 3 decades, a remarkable feat of compartmentalization, love, and secrecy. Yet the cost was steep: anxiety, health strains, and an eventual disappearance that left her family and the public searching for answers. Her vanishing underscores the complexity of human lives, how even the most ordinary-seeming individuals may harbor extraordinary stories. Nancy's legacy is both a cautionary tale and a testament to the enduring pursuit of personal freedom